I love it. Well, thank you, Robert, for always continuing to be consistent and letting us use your Zoom line. And man, everybody give it up for the man of the year, Mr. Robert Arthur, for our incredible company. So, Robert, we appreciate you so much. And now I get to introduce you to our wellness partners of the year, which is Jim and Kathy Rhodes. And Jim's going to be on here tonight, blessing us with his knowledge. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Blessing us with his knowledge and with his greatness. We love you so much, Jim. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jim. He has been involved in the health and nutrition industry for over 4 decades, like four decades. He was the CEO of an international nutrition company for 10 years, where his mentors and board of directors were made up of biochemists, doctors, and nutrition. He's a leader in the industry for the past 20 years. And he's been a guest speaker at Harvard Medical School on the state of foods in America today. And he's been on radio shows with the topic of health and nutrition. Let me just mute these. Okay. He's been a personal development trainer, and he just has a gift for loving and serving. And he's been like my other dad for 20 years, and I love and appreciate you so much, Jim. They have 8 beautiful children. I think I'm one. So 9 beautiful children and 21 grandchildren. And Jim, welcome to the call, my dear friend.
Wow. Thank you, Jill. And thank you, Robert, for allowing this platform for us to use each week, and how fun it is to see my family right here in front of me and on this screen. Welcome everybody to this family. And they're all servant leaders. And we just got off of a weekend that has changed my life. And I am so excited about tonight's call, because on this weekend, we announced another master formula launch. And as I was studying, because I know quite a bit about collagen, I was realizing I know in general terms, but there is someone who is the director of Lavo Labs who helped build it piece by piece with the scientists who were really deep into it, who are biochemists and all of those things that you need to know. And when you can take and realize this, how often are we doubling our technology knowledge? How often does that double? It's less than 2 years and it's doubling and it's doubling. Well, with technology comes the breakthrough of other things too, and the knowledge in the health arena and nutrition is also progressing. And there's one young lady who reads and studies and researches and talks to and learns like a sponge things that are out there that have not been available, including something in the arena that won the Nobel Prize in 2016, just as a major breakthrough of technology in the health arena for our bodies. And that is none other than Kjersti Cody, our director of Lavo Labs. And rather than me share base information about how important our collagen is, she was invited to be our guest tonight and do a dive with us for the next 40 minutes or so, and then 10 minutes of Q&A if you want to start submitting it to the chat box that she may be able to help answer. And we ask that you ask your questions compliantly. For those brand new people, that simply means 2 or 3 things. Lavo's products, as amazing as they are, do not cure, treat, or heal disease. What they're for is to feed the body everything it needs so that it can perform the miracle of the body, which is to thrive. And it knows how to take care of itself when given the right tools. Lavo already has 6, 7 of the most phenomenal tools in the industry. And I say this sincerely, with over 40 years of research in this industry and being a CEO of an international nutritional company, around people, surrounded for 10 years on my board of directors who taught me how incredible the body is when it's given the proper tools and lifestyle to go with that. And so Lavo has developed technology that is, in my opinion, put together technology with standard botanicals and herbs and the best of the best by sourcing it from the finest places in the world, following the science, and I mean deep, deep science that's been researched and brought to the forefront for our benefit, making sure it is the cleanest, purest source that can be, and putting it in enough quantity to make a difference when we put it in our body, because we are what we eat, what we drink, what we breathe, what we soak ourselves in, like the shower and the tub, or put on our skin. And what goes in is what the next day we're wearing, because we are 37.2 trillion cells. And those cells are made up of molecules or pieces. And all those pieces come from what we eat, drink, breathe, and put on our skin. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my wonderful friend of now 18, 19 years close, who I've watched grow in this industry, learn in this industry, absorb in this industry from some of the finest other specialists out there, and now bring to this platform of Lavo products that move the needle in our health and our journey forward. But again, we're not doctors. We don't prescribe. We do not claim we heal. We just give the body what it needs and allow it to do its job, which is phenomenal, in some cases miraculous. And this newest product just brought online is nothing short of anything, and it just adds to what we can expect, because now that it's being recorded, I'm going to step way out on a limb and say, when I connected the dots of what collagen can do with our other master formulas, if we're using them all, one for a healthy gut, one for burning excess fat as fuel and ketones, one getting us into autophagy of a reboot of all of the cells of the body that are damaged or need repair. And now you're putting this tool in to make that all connect together and form our glands, our organs, our muscles, our ligaments, our tendons, our body, and literally with some of the finest protein in the world that has been sourced and put together in this formula. Now we truly have what I call a fountain of youth. And for me, the one that's most important is the youthfulness of this part of my body. Because when this stops working, it doesn't really matter what the rest is doing if I don't know what I am watching or who I'm with. So I am so excited to introduce to you Kjersti Cody. Kjersti, welcome to the call.
Wow, thank you so much, Jim. I love being on this journey with you. Seriously, we were, I was exchanging some amazing texts back and forth with your lovely wife this morning, and she goes, I have loved you since the first day that I met you. And she's fiercely protective. She views me as family, but I can tell you this, I feel the exact same for both of you, on all of your kids. I just am crazy about the roads. And the fun thing is that after we met 20 years ago, because it's been now 20 years, we, through genealogy, found out that we're actually fourth cousins. So I'm not kidding when we say we are actually family. We really are family. We have the same DNA kind of, trickling in our cells here, which is kind of fun. I don't know. It's like third cousin removed. I'm not sure. But anyhow, it's so much fun to be here with all of you and all of your gorgeous faces. And I can tell you this, the results that we have seen thus far on this incredible collagen formulation is truly profound. When we set out to do the study, because maybe some of you may not know this, but we as a labs team, when we were getting started with all of this, we have studies, clinical studies, placebo studies that have been published on our collagen tripeptide. And we saw the research, we saw the data on what happened in the body after 8 weeks. We saw what happened in the body after 12 weeks. But keep in mind, those studies were just on the collagen only. It wasn't the collagen with other cofactors and other nutrients. So when we were looking at the study, we're like, wow, what's going to happen in the body when you put this specific patented collagen with other amazing nutrients? And that's when we decided that we were going to embark on our own study, our own observation study. And we started off with 75 participants. A great number actually completed the study. Like, I'm talking about only a 10% of those participants that started actually exited out of the study. So we had a tremendous number of participants stay on course. And the study that we are currently underway doing was 8 weeks. And the last day will be Wednesday, in 2 days, as of this recording, upon which these participants will do their last and final survey. And we've been surveying them every 2 weeks. We've been collecting photos of their face and their hands and cellulite and problematic areas, pigmentation spots, hairlines, okay, backs. People have been photographing their back. I mean, it's amazing the photos that our participants were wanting to actually capture. And every 2 weeks, they would submit a new set of photos. And we were like flipping through these photos and comparing, and even just the results between the baseline photo at the very beginning, just 2 weeks in to the study, when they were taking their photos just after 2 weeks, 14 days of consuming Collagen 300. There was such a dramatic, visible difference in 2 weeks. We were blown away. We were like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen in 8 weeks? And what we saw is, and of course, we're going to publish all of this data for you to have statistical data. We're not going to cherry pick this study. We want it all full disclosure, full transparency for you, because why not, right? And of course, all of these before and after photos we're going to assemble. There will be no photoshopping. The only thing we'll do to these photos is crop in so that you have a more detailed view of maybe someone's forehead or eye, but we're not going to morph the color. There's going to be no filtration on these photos, and you will be able to use, first of all, see them for your viewing pleasure, but also be able to use and share with others to share the technology of this collagen. So, but what we, of course, saw the visible changes in people's hands and skin. But what's really, really interesting is that that's where people look first. But there's collagen interwoven into pretty much every square inch of your body in some percentage, from head to toe, inside and out to the very core of your body. You have collagen interwoven into your heart, into your kidneys, your liver, your intestinal tract, your vascular system, and all of the what they call extracellular space between these organs and bits and pieces and parts of your body. The collagen is the glue in which holds the intestinal tract in place, that holds the organs in place so that they don't fall. Now, of course, as we get older, we start to kind of fall, right? Because collagen tends to break down, and your body becomes unable to produce the type of collagen or the quality of collagen which you could once do prior to the age of 25. And I believe the degree of loss is 1% every year starting at the age of 25. So by the time you're at the age of 30, you're already down 5% of your collagen production. And 30 is young. Think about that, right? So what we saw in the study were people, my phone was off the hook with texts and phone calls with participants calling me starting week 5 and 6. And not only were they seeing the physical changes, but other things started happening. And really unique things, whether it was shoulder or it was lower back or it was knees or it was mental acuity becoming more sharp, or digestive health improving, or cardiovascular health improving. And what does that look like for some people? It could be, some of the issues in which they're dealing with their healthcare professional. Those markers are shifting and changing at 5 and 6 weeks on collagen. Now, what's really fascinating as this study has been moving forward is that a lot of the work after week 5 and 6 is internal, and it's things that you don't see. And so when people really think of collagen, it's kind of more from a vanity standpoint in wrinkles, crow's feet, fine lines. This is lending itself to the entire structure of your body, head to toe, inside and out. And you can look at collagen much like a home. Inside of your home, from the exterior walls to the interior walls, you have something called 2x4s inside of that sheetrock. And without 2x4s being popped into place, you have no structure for your house, for your second floor to be supported and your third floor to be supported. So look at collagen as 2x4s of the body in helping to support the scaffolding structure within the body, creating strength, rigidity, firmness. And collagen, it's produced daily. It's something that's manufactured daily. So one of the other things too that I'd love to share before we kind of jump into the PowerPoint is that when it comes to collagen, a lot of times people think like, oh, you just drink collagen and it just kind of saturates into the tissue. And that's not the case. The body naturally produces it. It creates it. But in order to create it, it needs material. And the material that it uses to create collagen and structure in the body, it gets through proteins. Now, there's a difference between proteins and collagen protein, and I'm going to explain the difference in layperson term, okay? Because do we benefit from eating eggs and fish? Does eating that help with collagen synthesis in the body? Yes. And what it is that fish, chicken, steak, eggs, okay, these are the whole proteins, animal proteins that we cook and we chew, and that our body works really, really hard to digest it and liquefy it. And it'll take these massive protein molecules, which are comprised of hundreds of thousands of different amino acids all coiled up like a bowl of spaghetti. And then your body, you chew it and then it liquefies. And what happens to the bowl of spaghetti, if you can imagine these amino acids being these long pieces of pasta, your body then goes and snips these pieces of pasta down into little tinier pieces. And those pieces are called amino acids. So your body works really hard to break down protein to actually suck these amino acids in varying forms to use as material, the 2x4s, to build into your body structure. And it will use these amino acids to build your biceps, your triceps, your hamstrings, your abdominal muscles. It'll use these amino acids to build collagen and cartilage, connective tissues. And of course, part of that is the collagen making process too in the body. What's unique about collagen, just as a whole, let's just talk about collagen, because collagen is very different than animal protein. And oh, by the way, let's take a little sidestep here and talk about the ultra 30s. So you have animal proteins that you cook, chew, digest in hopes to get some good utilization of those amino acids to help restructure and build your body. But we take that whole process to a whole new level with the ultra 30s, because what you're getting with the ultra 30s is highly concentrated amino acids that are in a molecular structure much smaller than eggs, beef, chicken, fish, and so on. So it's already kind of filtered out and provided to the body in a smaller molecular way. The whey protein is almost gram for gram utilized in the body. Chicken, only 30% utilized in the body. So your body works hard to break down the 30 grams of chicken breast. And in the end, 10 grams is used because it can be broken down small enough to be built into the body. And the other 70% you eliminate in the number 2 process on your throne. But then you take the ultra 30s and you've got plant-based concentrates that are organic. And then you've also got this beautiful, in essence, organic whey protein that is so pure and so bioavailable that when that rides into the body, that also helps in the build out of the structure of the body in a much more superior way, but helps with collagen synthesis as well. Right? So do we have collagen synthesis benefits or collagen making benefits in our ultra 30s? Yes. And it comes in the form of proline, glycine, and a few others. Now, diving in deeper, and that's where collagen 300 comes in. We can take animal parts that are rich in collagen. For instance, cowhide, cow bones, chicken sternum, chicken feet. We can put them in a big vat, each independently, add enzymes. Those enzymes will go to work on the bones and the chicken feet and the chicken sternum and literally liquefy it in a very short period of time. And that liquefaction process is called hydrolyzation. It's where we can take something whole, add God-given enzymes to it, and it will break it down and liquefy it. And then collagen companies take that liquid collagen that was just sourced from fish skin or chicken feet or chicken sternum and put it into powder form and you ingest it. You go to the store, you go to Costco, you got to go to Walmart, you get your little tub of collagen, you put it in your shake or you put it in your smoothie. And that's where collagen supplementation has come into play, because it's supplying all of those same 18 amino acids that you find in chicken, fish, and steak, but you can also find them in collagen coming from other parts of the body of the animals. But collagen 300 is different. And here's why. Instead of taking just the hydrolyzation process, our scientists figured out a way to take those amino acids that we've been talking about and clip and snip them, just like that piece of pasta I was talking about, into even smaller molecules. They are so doggone small, they're considered micro. And in previous days, it was considered nano, but we don't use that terminology anymore in the nutraceutical space. It's against the law. So it's micro. So they have literally taken these essential amino acids and figured out a way to make them so small that they require zero digestion. So you drink it into the body, and instead of chewing it, digesting it, you drink it in. It goes into your tummy, into the intestinal tract, and permeates out through the intestinal walls, bypassing cells. and goes straight to your collagen synthesizing sites. Now, the really cool thing is that it lasts a really long time in the body. So with your permission, I am going to now share my screen with you. And all right, can everybody see that? Okay, so let's go ahead. Let me move this little bar down so I don't have that in the way. And let's go ahead and advance. So we just kind of talked about collagen and what it is, and how your body produces it. And again, it's the most abundant protein within the human body. It's found within 95% of your total body structure. And again, it is a fiber-like structure that provides that scaffolding, that rigidity and strength to all of your connective tissues, your major components of your body, your skin, your bones, tendons, ligaments, cartilage, muscles, everything. And so as we get older, as mentioned, 25 years of age and older, it's starting to slow down the older we get. Now, next is let me see here. We talked about the 3 different sources being chicken, marine, and bovine. Marine by far is the dominant out of all of these sources. There's a lot of popular companies out there that are using chicken sternum. There's a lot of popular companies out there that are also using marine, but their molecular structure is much larger than ours, okay? But by far, marine is the most beneficial to the body. The other thing I want to mention are the different types of collagen, and I've only got 2 listed here. And it's to kind of differentiate between the two. Scientists comfortably say that there's over 16 different types of collagen, but really in essence, they've counted about 28. But the most important type, and this is a big deal because a lot of companies use this as marketing material to sell their product. The most important type of collagen that you could ever ingest is type 1 because it represents 90% of the total body's collagen, unlike type 2, which is a very popular type. And the reason is it has to do with how dense it is. Type 1 is insanely dense, much more supportive. Type 2 is more loosely packed, so it's not as rigid for the body. The other thing too, this is a really good example of amino acids. They're all clustered together, those 18 different amino acids in these spirals, but we're focused with our patented technology on 3, and it's the proline, hydroxyproline, and glycine. And again, they have been able to cleave out just these 3 little peptides, and they're all interconnected. They're a little trio, little bits, little molecules floating around with 3, and those are called tripeptides. And they did it through a patented enzymatic process. Okay, so that's really important. That's a little zoom in on that. Next is the differentiation between regular collagen versus hydrolyzed collagens, which we talked about. That's where the enzymes introduced, it liquefies it, they put it in powder form, in a tub it goes, and this would be your Nature's Path collagen. This would be a lot of different powdered collagens on the market. And I think that the most powerful slide I can show you tonight is this when it comes to size. Now, we've likened the molecular size to fruit, just to give you a kind of a size differentiation. You've got a watermelon that represents that 300,000 Dalton in size, which, by the way, for those that missed the kickoff, a Dalton is just basically a form of measurement. It's how they measure protein and collagen molecules. And the smaller the protein, the better it's utilized and absorbed. So you've got regular collagen in its whole form as chicken sternum at 300,000 Dalton. Then they strip that chicken sternum or those chicken feet, and they move it through a hydrolyzed process, and they can get it smaller down to 20,000 Dalton, 10,000 Dalton, or even 3,000 Dalton. And in most cases, it's probably a combination of all of them, but you can at least see in this collagen powder found at the store that that's about where you're sitting with your collagen or with your size differentiation. And then you look all the way down to the left, that tiny little sesame seed. That, in comparison to a watermelon, guys, it is such a huge size differentiation, and it's representative of how small our collagen molecules are. And that's why they require zero digestion. They are highly bioavailable and utilized in the body. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the benefits. And this is huge because when we were taking a look at coming out with a collagen supplement, which, by the way, this has been a year in the making, and we were seeking out the latest and greatest. We wanted to study the science. It wasn't about marketing and keeping up with the Joneses. We wanted to beat the Joneses. I'm highly competitive in the scientific world, right? And so we found the absolute best. It was something that was launched. The patents came through in 2019, but because of COVID, fell flat on its face. And nobody was utilizing this collagen until all of a sudden, last year, a few companies picked it up, and these companies weren't even in the United States. And so for us to be able to launch Collagen 300, we are the first nutraceutical company in the entire North American area that has launched this specific patented collagen, which is a true honor for us. And here's the other thing. Will there be other companies that come out with this collagen? Potentially, if they're willing to afford it. But the whole thing is that when you're launching a material like this, you want to be first to market, because whatever we have created that's in this formulation, in the quantities that it's in, which is very scientifically based, nobody can touch us within the 20% rule. So they cannot encroach on our formulation because it's a proprietary blend and we took it first to market within 20%. So will there be another company that will provide the same benefits? And the answer is no. So it's very exciting. The other thing too is it's just not about the skin. It's about bones, joints, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, muscles, connective tissues. There's massive benefits to digestive health, cardiovascular health. The elevated sports performance that you're going to feel is profound, and you're going to have a better BMI. Why is this? Well, let's start with digestive health. Collagen actually helps to build the digestive tract. And it will help with gut mucose. It will help with the structure of the lining of, or the tubing and the piping of the digestive system, small intestine and large. And it helps to go in and create such healthy tissues that what we're seeing in studies is that leaky gut diminishes because of the structure of the intestinal wall, and the integrity of the intestinal wall improves. Cardiovascular health. This goes back to CRPs, and CRPs are how they measure inflammatory response in the body. So for whatever reason, collagen supplementation helps to drive inflammatory response down. And if you can drive inflammatory response down, which you know that other ingredients within our Lavo line and other products do that exact same thing, then the vascular system is going to be healthier. It'll take the pressure off of your veins, capillaries, arteries, blood vessels, and put ease on the heart as well. But on top of that, again, collagen is material in which the whole vascular system uses to be able to build, to have stretch and flexibility. And there's a term, I'll skip that one. Next is elevated sports performance. You've got collagen interwoven into all of your lean muscles. And if you have better structure within all of your muscles are going to respond to exercise better. you will have more strength during your exercise and your physical exertion, and your recovery is going to be better because there's going to be less micro tearing. It's exciting. It is so exciting. So for my boys, they're 20 and 23. They're athletes. Were they a part of the study? Yes, because we wanted to see what Collagen 300 was going to do for a young body. And my son that's 20 had a severe shoulder injury playing football and lacrosse. And this is the first time, literally since he was a junior in high school, that when he goes to the gym and does shoulders and weight lifts and works his shoulders, that he hasn't experienced intense burning on the inside of his shoulder. He feels strong, agile. My son that's 23 going to the gym, he has so much explosiveness to his workouts and energy. It's insane. And this kid is dialed in with his workouts day in and day out, day in and day out. My fiance, he's 57. He's a retired Ironman athlete. And he had a stinky shoulder injury about 8 years ago. And here we're just thinking, like, what day is it going to be that we go in for surgery, right? And he's very regimented with his supplementation and his exercise and diet, like to a T. The only thing that he changed in the last 8 weeks was the implementation of Collagen 300. And in about week 5, between week 5 and 6, he had incredible results within his shoulders, and that discomfort diminishing greatly to where now we're at week 7, almost completing week 8. And it still feels absolutely fantastic. And he's almost in disbelief. He just honestly can't even believe that this has happened. So very excited. And then lastly, better BMI. If you have more collagen interwoven into your tissues and your muscles are performing better, they're going to burn more fuel. And when you burn more fuel, you're going to lean it out a little bit more. The other factor to this is, again, going back to the anti-inflammatory response with the collagen and that dropping, the body can become more efficient on burning fuels and also building lean muscle. So you'll see a beautiful benefit with BMIs. So when you get people started on Collagen 300 or Lavo in general, again, smart scale, smart scale, smart scale, you want them to be able to see what's happening with their body mass index and their body fat, their lean muscle, their bone density, and so on. These are the ingredients, and we're going to go through those real quick. So with the Moricol tripeptide marine collagen, again, it's patented. It's a total body approach. It needs no digestion. And not only do we use clinical dosing, we've doubled the clinical dose because we felt that we already had the data. We talked to the scientists that developed this, and we asked them flat out, is there any additional benefit to doubling this? And they said yes. And it moves into the cartilage benefits, cartilage and joint benefit. And we were like, we're not leaving that off the table. So we were like, anything, whatever it takes. And so we doubled the dose to open up even further benefits with the cartilage and the joint and cushioning between the joints. The study that was done on the double dosing of the Moricol after, boy, I have to dig the study out. I'm not sure if it was 8 weeks or 12 weeks, but the amount of new material that they saw within the joint was absolutely outstanding. It was considered significant in the osteo world. And so we were really excited to be able to include that. Next is obviously those studies. I want to highlight a couple of parts to this that really set us apart again from all other collagens in the world, and that's the retention time. So you take 1 stick of this. Okay, let me show you. This is so much fun. You take 1 stick of this. By the way, study participants, if you're listening, you know how when you would get into your little Collagen 300 black pouch and take the scoop out and put it into liquid, how it would float? This doesn't float. We took it through a beautiful process that allows it to literally dissolve straight into your water like that. So there's no floating, so it dissolves better. That was an extra step that we added. But this is your little stick, portable. You can take it around the world with you if you needed to. And it's pre-measured, so you know you're getting the exact dosing that's going to yield those incredible results. But when you take just one stick of this, it doesn't go into the body and the body uses what it needs and then you eliminate it. The molecular structure is so fine that the hang time in which it stays within your blood flow and tissues is profound. It has a 15-time better retention than all other collagens on the market. Very powerful. And in a 12-week study that they did, half of the dose that's in this and no other sub-ingredients, okay, half of the collagen that we're using, they saw 3 times increased hydration, 2 times reduction of roughness, 10 times reduction of crow's feet and visual wrinkles and fine lines, and 6 times improved elasticity in the skin and in the tissues with half of the dose in which you have right here with Collagen 300. Very, very, very exciting. What's crazy is that every day that you dose with this protects you from UVB damage. So you step outside, you're exposed to sun, and this helps with staving off the damaging effects to sun. And how that is, well, when you go out and you're exposed to sun, it's beautiful because it helps you look healthy and have that glow. And it also lends to vitamin D production, right? But then also sun does this little thing where it triggers a production of a few different enzymes. And these enzymes actually break down collagen structure. And so it's counterintuitive. You look great, but then all of a sudden your collagen starts to break down and the structure of your skin diminishes. And that's where people that are sun lovers have really wrinkly, damaged skin. And it's because of these stinky little enzymes. But this helps to protect and shut down the enzyme making production that destroys your collagen. So it's got incredible benefits in that regard. First ingredient that I want to highlight beyond the Moricol is the hyaluronic acid. This is incredible because this helps control skin hydration. It can hold 6,000 times its own weight in water. It helps to transport nutrients and ion solution or solutes to different various parts of the body. It protects the fibroblasts, which is basically your collagen synthesizing sites, these fibroblasts against cell damage from free radicals. Next is zinc. Zinc, this is actually a really funny story, little side note. So Dr. Harper and Dr. Messina and I, we were sitting in the boardroom preparing for our launch slides. We were moving through our slides and we were covering the slide of zinc. And Dr. Harper goes, "You need to put in there that this is especially beneficial for men." And I go, "Oh, really? Okay, I'll add that to the slide." And he goes, "Weren't you going to ask me why?" And I go, "Okay, well, why?" "I'm just trusting you, Dr. Harper. Why?" And he says, "Because men, they blow through a tremendous amount of zinc in romantic activities." And so he was dead set on me mentioning this on the launch. And I'm like, I'm not going to say that, Dr. Harper. People are going to have to go search it out. So, but it is important for men, especially. And remember, minerals go into the body. They ignite the body and power the body, but your body will burn through these minerals. So daily consumption of minerals and trace minerals are absolutely critical. Supports immune health, eye health. Yeah, I know, Kathy, me too. I was dying. I was roaring laughing. So was Messina. Messina thought it was great, especially important for men. I did include that. And then also protects collagen from damage, again, from free radicals that can enter into the body. And it's critical for cell repair. Next is copper, magnificent mineral. And by the way, do you have zinc in other master formulations in Lavo? Yes. Are you going to OD? No. Do you have copper in the Ultra 30? You sure do. Do you have copper in Fortitude? Yes. Do you have copper in eVibe? Yes. Do you have copper in burn mode? Yes. You've got it anywhere that our Z1 or Z2 minerals exist. You've got trace amounts of copper. But this is more of a therapeutic dose of copper that is specific to helping the role of collagen synthesis at a very scientifically calculated dose. It helps to stabilize collagen and elastin in the body. Next is vitamin A. Again, assists in collagen synthesis. It supports eye health, protects against UV sun damage, and also protects those fibroblasts, the collagen synthesizing sites. And then there's vitamin C. We've all known about vitamin C our entire lives. We take it when we get sick. And we have vitamin C in other formulations as well. But this kind of vitamin C is in a very, very unique form, which is a buffered vitamin C. And buffered vitamin C, it has a slow, delayed release in the body. The interesting thing about water-soluble vitamins is you drink it in, you eat them in, your body breaks down or brings in the nutrients, and it will use these different elements and nutrients to feed into the cells. But your body has no ability to store vitamin C in higher quantities to use throughout the day. So the only fix for that is to ride the vitamin C in and piggyback it onto a mineral that slows the absorption and the delivery of this throughout the day. So you consume this first thing in the morning and you have this slow release of vitamin C. Vitamin C is one of the most critical parts to helping to support collagen synthesis or the creation of collagen in the body. It's profound at wound healing. It helps in the creation of cartilage, bones, and teeth, also immune health, and assists in nutrient absorption, helping to drive things where they need to go into the cell. You've also got vitamin E. Now, high quantities of vitamin E is not good. So in some cases, more is not better. And we were asked this question, well, can I double or triple my collagen 300 and experience better benefits? And the bottom line is we've already doubled it for you. But if you do drink 2 sticks, keep in mind, you're doubling your hyaluronic acid, you're doubling your vitamin E, you're doubling your vitamin A, and that may not be necessary. And especially when it comes to vitamin E, too much vitamin E, especially for men, affects the prostate in a negative way. So we've very much scientifically put these nutrients in very specific amounts, knowing that there's more to come in 2022, 2023, 2024. Like Jim says so beautifully, we are adding another layer of science onto the building of the human body through incredible nutrients. So vitamin E obviously suppresses the breakdown of collagen, protects against cell death, protects against UV sun damage. And then, of course, there's biotin. Biotin, if you look on the label, it's like crazy. It says that it's 16,000% of your daily value. Don't let that scare you. B7 or biotin is water soluble. There are no known toxic side effects to man, but this is one of the most critical nutrients to collagen synthesis as well. It helps to generate keratin. It helps to break down old proteins that are not needed anymore and being utilized properly. And then, of course, with all of this, you've got the liposome technology. These are plant phospholipids that enrobe and encase in these cute little liposome bubbles, helping to deliver them to the cells. Comes in lavender lemonberry, which if you've not tasted it yet, it's absolutely delicious. During the study, I told people that anybody that can guess the flavor of this gets, whatever Lavo product of their choice, and nobody even came close. So the lavender is light and refreshing. It's not overbearing. It's not overly citrus and tart. It's just super refreshing. My favorite way to make this is a stick of this. a stick of Burn Mode and a stick of E-Vibe in 32 ounces of water. And I don't ice mine. I just put it all in there, all 3 pouches, boom, 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 32 ounces of water, shake it up, and oh my goodness, I'll have that thing sucked down. I drink it over probably a 2 or 3 hour period of time. So I do it between my morning shake and my lunch, or I'll do it in the afternoon if I'm going to have an evening workout because of the E-Vibe. I'm telling you, it's going to be so addicting to you. You're not going to ever want to stop it. You'll probably think that this is the best way to consume it. It's sweetened with the zero cane, which is our fermented sugar cane that has 0 calories. Can you take it on burn days? The answer is at this time, no, until we have further evidence. And the reason is because it yields 2 grams of protein. And we've talked about autophagy. So if your goal during fasting is to access autophagy, then I would hold your collagen 300 for ultra days. If your goal for fasting is just ketosis and you're not looking for autophagy, then you could probably take it for sure. But autophagy is where the magic happens in the body. And if you want to live a long, healthy life and you've done the studies with autophagy, then I would hold off on it. So with this participant, this was 2 weeks after, and you can see, check this out, the coloration in the nasal fold here. Look at how different it is in just 2 weeks. And you can see the pore refining here after 2 weeks versus here. And if you look up on this line, these lines right here on the left versus on the right, it's drastically smoother. So this was a very fun. And if you look at the whites of the eyes too, you've got healthier looking whites of the eyes. This was great. Next is the under eye line on this side too. Look at the drastic difference. Again, 2 weeks. And check out, interestingly enough, eyebrows. They're looking a little fuller on this side, right? Next is a set of hands, 2 weeks. Look at the difference in coloration on the left versus the right. And the reason is because you have better circulation. You have healthier, newer cells that have come up to displaying themselves on the surface of the skin. It's more hydrated. You have the knuckles, especially, you can see that the inflammatory response in the hand is down. This is incredible stuff here, guys. Next is this lovely participant who's with us today. And I want to point out right here on her forehead, you can see the fine lines and the wrinkles here. Look at how it has softened just after 4 weeks. And also I want to call out this area and the nasal labial fold and here, and the difference on that side and the softening on that side. Beautiful results, Udana. I can't wait to see your 8-week photo. I love this one because this individual had an incredible skincare process before, and she was very interested to see, like, okay, how is this going to affect me? But the pigmentation was unreal for me. And you can not only see the diminishing of the pigmentation and those freckles on her forehead, but you can see the luster and the shine and the hydration in her forehead. And then this one, this was amazing to me. Amanda Lunt. Check out these deep-seated wrinkles. This is typical from when you raise your brows in comparison to 6 weeks later. And just to think, she's got 2 more weeks of results that we haven't really seen yet. Also, the hyperpigmentation with this little birthmark here versus here, and just the softening overall and other pigmentation spots. Look at how less this is here and on the bridge of the nose here and here, and how smooth and uniform everything looks. This was a beautiful example. And this lovely participant, we love the neck. This is a scar that she has and some deep-seated wrinkles just from normal aging, looking down. This is very typical for us on the cell phones all the time as we get a little older. And you can see the softening and the smoothing of the roughness, and obviously this scarring already starting to flatten out, being less deep. So it's exciting. It is so exciting to see the results that we've had thus far. And I will open it up for questions. Whoever might have a question. The other thing too is price comparisons. Actually, let me see if this slide deck, I don't think this slide deck has it. Let me access. Does anybody want to see a price comparison, by the way? Let me ask that first.
I
Yes,
think it's.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me pull that. Give me 1 second. All right. Yes, here we go.
Jill, you've been watching the chat, so you'll have the questions for her.
I've got them all written down.
Good.
And Jim, as she's pulling that up, I want you to, did she answer the questions that you had? Because I know
Oh,
that when we talked earlier.
She went in such good detail. She was reading my mind. I just know that.
Oh, good.
And a true story while you're looking that up, because we do need to know that pricing. That is what's so exceptional when you're getting a double therapeutic dose at a unbelievable price.
Yeah.
Any good comparison, meaning a good quality of any kind. That just blows my mind that you've been able to do that for us. But personal story, after 1 hour of being bent over, I've had a lower back injury that has always bothered me. And so an hour at the most, can you imagine 4 hours putting in a water pump in my truck? And because I wanted to get it done, just didn't stop, didn't notice anything about my body. But when I realized I'd been 4 hours to get it done and went to stand up after being bent over, holding heavy things and, tight spaces, I expected that I was going to stagger back into the house. And I stood straight up. I moved right and left. Now, this was 6 weeks in to the product. That's the only thing I've changed. And I walked in going, oh my gosh, if everybody else is getting what I'm getting, and all of the aid I've had for my back was the inflammation was the biggest problem I was suffering from. And so what it's done for my back is I just hope everybody else who may have that similar problem gets the kind of results I have, because I slept like a baby and took no Tylenol or no Advil, or CBD is my go-to for my back, and I didn't need it. And that is a miracle for me. So thank you.
That is a miracle. I love that. I love that. The other thing too that we will want to look for is obviously we've got clinical studies that validate the shifts and changes, which is very important. When it comes to making structure function claims and sharing your stories, we're going to help you with that, because when you've got products that really move the needle and provide insane, profound results, and it's not just like, marketing and placebo effect here. It's important for you to be able to construct your story in a compliant way. Like for instance, when it comes to Fortitude 85, there are ingredients inside of Fortitude that have clinical studies attached to them, which would be our sensorial ashwagandha and our amla berry, our capros amla berry, that we can speak to those two herbs based on the physiological changes. But what we can't say is that whatever those studies revealed for those two ingredients, that Fortitude 85 is going to do that, guys, right? So we want to be very targeted. So you can talk about retention, fine lines, wrinkles, cardiovascular health, gut health, and all of that when you speak to Maury Cole. But we really got to make sure we're not going to cure, treat, or prevent anybody's disease. Kathy says that my cellulite's smoothing out. Mine is too, which is like, what is that on the fronts of my thighs? That's exciting. Again, the reason why people have cellulite, well, it's because there's these fibers that are attached to the fascia and to the front part of the dermis. And they're like these rubber bands. And then fat cells are in between these little rubber bands. And so as fat cells can grow, these rubber bands stay tight, and that's what pulls in that dimpling in the skin. Well, when you actually get on a collagen supplement that actually works, then the restructuring of the scaffolding shifts and changes to where there's lesser of these pulls where the cellulite dimples are super deep seated. They will soften. And of course, you'll have a better restructuring of the skin. That takes longer. So ladies, hang in there. The results you'll have in 12 weeks or 16 weeks versus 8 weeks is truly, truly magnificent. So let me go ahead and share this real quick. The other thing too, and you'll be able to all have access to these slides. As you can see, we don't have any name brands here. That's intentional because the name brand that's behind this product, and these bottles, those are trademarked or registered names, and we could infringe upon using those names of products or names of companies. We might infringe on licensing because they have not given us permission to use it. And so be very cautious on using the names of other companies or products, but obviously to capture a roundabout, visual for people to kind of assume or kind of have a really good idea, like, oh, I think I might know that product. They can get it figured out on their own. But this is, let me move this out of the way so that you guys can see that. And you can do a screenshot if you want that tonight. But this is expensive, guys. This is $4.53 a day. This is $5 a day. And to get the benefits of what Collagen 300 can do, because it's head to toe total body benefit, you would need 4 different versions, and to take all 4 of these collagen bottles every day, that would come at a subscribe and save price of $284 a month. Who can afford that? And when we were looking at creating Collagen 300, I said, whatever we do, we know it's going to cost the consumer, but we cannot rob the consumer. And guys, I know what's in these products. And to say that they're overcharging is an understatement. And we are not about that. We are about creating incredibly intelligent, sophisticated formulations. But what good is it if we can't get it into the hands of the general public? This is not a bougie product that, for the rich. This is an essential thing that the body can really utilize and draw into the body. And so listen, I mean, at the cost of $87.95 for 30 days, let me see if I can move this. For some reason, it's not letting me. Let me move that out of the way. There we go. Okay, there we go. For us, this is what you're looking at, $87.95 for subscribe and save. If people want to buy retail, that's up to them, but it's still less expensive than the competitor. And it comes in at a subscribe and save price at $293. I think that's doable for the majority of people. What we did not want you to do is to sacrifice $42.85 for the sake of collagen. We didn't want you to sacrifice a bag of Ultra 30 for the sake of collagen, because those are foundational nutrients that need to go into the body to live a long, healthy life. We just wanted to add that additional layer, as Jim's talking about, for you guys to be able to afford. And so there was a lot of thought that was added into that. So there you have it. Let me stop sharing. All right, here we go.
Kjersti?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Just really quick, the last question, then I'll go to the beginning. Can they share that comparison photo on social media? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. All right. So we're going to go back to the beginning. And I'm going to start. All right. When will your presentation from the summit be available?
Yeah. So what I want to do is, there's no reason why we can't take it. The disconnect right here is that the slides are designed for visual, but those talking points, you're going to want those talking points. per each slide so that you can actually present. And so we'll make sure that the talking points are beautifully formatted and stuff like that. That's going to take us a second to do that. And then once we have, because the slides are already built, it's just the talking points that we want to make sure you guys have.
And
Mitch,
will there be, sorry, go ahead.
no, Mitch and his team, that's something that they're going to have to figure out, whether they upload it into the back office and resources, which would be a great place for it, or if it's going to be on Rapid Funnels. We'll see. But I would say, like, probably realistically, let's say that if we can get it done this week, that would be incredible by Friday.
Yes. And will you have a Q&A? You know how you did the Q&A?
Yes.
Will you have a Q&A?
Yeah, that I can work on that myself, obviously, because that's, I mean, it could be that our graphic artist wants to put it in some sexy PDF format, but I could at least get the questions and answers down so that you guys have that. And of course, that should be on the site as well. It should be on the Collagen site. So.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. I have a friend that just had knee surgery a few months ago. His doctor says that the knee is working fine, but is it a muscle and ligament? But is it the muscles and ligaments that aren't responding properly? Could our product, Collagen 300, possibly help?
You know, this is interesting. A lot of times when you've got shoulder surgery, knee surgery, foot surgery, ankle surgery, sometimes when there's been significant injury and there's been atrophy of tendons, ligaments, and muscles, cartilage. Remember, when they go in and they repair, let's say if they've done knee surgery or knee replacement or hip replacement or an ankle replacement, it does take a second for the nerves to be able to grow back so that you have that sensation of touch to the skin, because in many cases it's numb for quite some time. But then also all of the connective tissues in and around that brand new joint or that brand new area that's been repaired, it takes time. Muscle builds fast. Tendons and ligaments and cartilage build insanely slow. And so to stay the course and to consume the collagen every single day, to be able to feed it material, to be able to, be able to create and build and maintain healthy or even build healthier new collagen and tendons and ligaments, that's the ticket. Just give it time.
Okay. Can collagen reduce skin tags?
That's interesting. I really don't know the answer to that. Skin tags are typically a rogue skin cell that multiplies. And then all of a sudden you've got this little flappy little thing and you're like, what the heck is this? So maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know. I know that the raspberry freckles, some of the darker pigmentation spots, if you've got any concerns, my goodness, photograph it. And let's see what happens in a 6, 8, 12-week period of time.
I love that.
May I add this thought? If you throw autophagy in on top of this, if you are going for autophagy, it would appear to me, skin being the largest organ, it's going to have an effect, and it should be in a positive manner.
Yeah, Janie actually just wrote in the box that her skin tags fell off after autophagy, after moving through fasting. So that's really cool.
I love that. They're reading each other's minds. That's great. Okay. If Collagen 300 helps with bones, does it help with teeth in any way?
Yes. Think about your gums. And your what holds your teeth in place are tendons and ligaments that are literally intersecting like this. And they're like elastic bands that hold and connect to your teeth. And through that process, you've got capillaries and little blood vessels that are feeding that root of the tooth. And so again, it's tissue. And to be able to supply material for tissue to be able to thrive in, the benefit would obviously benefit the tooth and the longevity of your teeth. And does it rebuild teeth? I don't know about that, guys. I mean, the wear and tear from acidic foods, acidic beverages, or just flat out, the wear and tear and the weathering of the teeth through age and life. That's why they've created veneers. To be honest, I've never seen a tooth regrow. That you can remineralize your teeth, meaning you kind of plug the holes of the porous aspect of your teeth with a mineral toothpaste that you can get from your dentist, which helps to remineralize the surface of your tooth, which helps with weathering and decay. And gosh, Jill, you know this because you used to be a hygienist. So yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So Kathy made a comment. I have a question after. So she said, make sure to have your customers take pictures. I never would have seen the profound results I have if I never would have taken pictures. So my question to you, Kjersti, is what would they take a picture of? Like, I know what we've been taking pictures of, but will you tell everybody so that when they take their pictures, they will know?
Yeah, this is really good. And what's interesting is we didn't even ask the study participants to take a photo of their back, but Kathy Horn did, because she's like, you know what, my back, I've never liked my back. Let me just see if this helps my back. So she had her amazing hubby snap a picture of her back. And the difference, I think it was the 4-week mark. Michael is taking a picture of Kathy's back, and Michael goes, babe, stop flexing your back. It was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. And she goes, I'm not flexing my back. What are you talking about? And he goes, stop flexing. And she's like, I'm not flexing. And apparently she had more tone in her back after 2 weeks. And of course, even beyond that, the texture and the roughness of her back was so smooth to where she's like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So beautiful, incredible results. My advice is to do, for sure, a front-on picture. Arm's length away. That's your measuring stick. Arm's length away, camera facing. What I loved about Kathy's photos, she did it inside of her kitchen, which had no natural light, and she controlled the light with above lighting. She could take a photo in the morning or at night, and it didn't matter because it was the same light. And that's one of the things that we learned through the study, because I took mine through the window, but guess what? I live in Phoenix, Arizona, where it's sunny pretty much every day of the year. So I knew what time of day it was out of the shower, and I stood in front of the same window, and my thighs were up against the nightstand with that window directly in front of me. And I used my arm as the distance. And so I had foot placement every time. I had the same camera every time and the same lighting every time. That is going to yield your best before and after results, because if you go inside one time, outside the other time, I'm telling you, your photos are botched. You're not going to be able to see the difference as well. And the other thing is focus. Make sure your camera's focused. There's people that took photos of their hands that were blurry. And I'm like, dang, we can't use that because we can't see really good. So if you have issues with, focus, make sure that you get somebody, go get your niece or hubby or wife and have them do it. Look, if it's really what you're needing, then you're done. If it isn't what you need and it's not focused or the lighting is slightly off, then have them retake it. You could take 50 photos. It doesn't matter, just as long as you get one really good one before and one really good one to mimic the before photo. So.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was a great question that came in. What was the criteria for the participants? As long as, could they be on other collagen?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh man, we were so strict on this. They could not have Botox treatment. They could not have skin laser treatments. They had to stop and discontinue taking collagen for 2 weeks before they started our collagen. So they went through a washout period. And because we wanted no other competitors' collagen floating around in their system. And then, of course, they started. And it was daily consumption. And we even asked that on the survey, like, how consistent have you been? Have you missed 1 day? Have you missed 3 days? Have you missed 5 days? and there's no wrong answer, because the people that missed 7 days of collagen that still got the results, that's great data for us, because there's huge error there on human consumption, because they had holiday parties that they had to go to and they forgot their collagen at home or something like that. We still wanted to see that data. And so we wanted to make sure that our participants couldn't give us the wrong answer, that there was no shame in anything, but also too, nothing that was going to skew the results that would be deceptive to the audience that's going to view the data. The other thing, they could not double dose. It was not allowed. And we made it very, very known that there are other collagen companies, well-known collagen companies, that when they did their study, they called up their participants and told them to take 2 or 3 bottles a day. That's going to skew the results. And we didn't want that. We really just wanted the 1 dose a day so that we could show people what those results were going to look like.
I love that. And you, Donna, even said wear the same clothes as well when
Yes.
you're taking your before and afters. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a question I haven't heard yet. Does powder collagen have a shelf life? Like, is it going to lose potency or break down over time?
Our Moricol is 3 years stable.
I love that.
3 years stable. The other thing too, that a lot of companies out there that are marketing with, is ours has 0 oxidation. Well, the only people that are going to talk about oxidation are those that put their collagen in liquid form. And their collagen started out in a powder form like ours. It's just a different source and a different molecular structure. Their collagen molecular size is larger than ours. And but regardless, if it's liquid, they had to put the powdered collagen into that liquid state inside of a bottle. And so they have to talk about the oxidation factor, because it's in a liquid, it's suspended in a liquid, versus ours. It just, there's no oxidation because it's not sitting somewhere in a distribution center waiting to come to your doorstep.
Would other collagen have a shelf life? Like Sandy was saying, she has a friend that just bought 6 months of powder collagen from somewhere else. Is it going to lose its potency? They should probably just trash it and get ours. Like, I'm like, what? They just need to get rid of it, right?
I would return it. That's money.
Yeah.
If they just bought 6 months of collagen, return that. I don't care if it's Costco, Target, Walmart, another network marketing company, return that sucker. If it's unopened, there's no reason why you cannot return that and get your money back. You can literally just say, I don't want it. I don't like it, and I need my money back. And if it's a good company, they will honor that, and then invest your money into our collagen so that you don't lose out. And because listen, it's a totally different structure and a totally different approach to collagen. Ours is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've heard you address this one. Let's just do it one more time. Why did Lavo choose powder and not liquid?
Boy, lots of reasons. The weight of this is, let me see, about 1/4 pound. That's how light it is. There's no heavy liquid in bottles. There's no like heaviness to it. The heavier a product is, the more expensive it is to ship to the consumer. And guess who pays for shipping? The consumer. And so we wanted to make sure that the weight was down. The powder is incredibly stable. And the other thing is just the serving size. It's so tiny. You can pop it in your purse or your briefcase or your gym bag or in your suitcase, and it takes up hardly any room. So the portability, the size, the weight is all a bonus for the consumer, even with traveling, but then more so it's more stable in powder form than it is in liquid.
Yes, and that brings me to a question I have, and you don't have just brought it up. Is it good to have? Is it better to have it alone in water, or can you put it in your shake? Or yeah,
so we talked to the PhDs that created this, and they said that if you do put it in the body on an empty stomach, you do have better utilization, but at what percentage we don't know, because there's not been any studies on this. But they do know that the utilization is more immediate, and it doesn't there's nothing else to interfere with it as it's moving into the body, into the bloodstream. Whereas if you put it with your shake, it's riding it with proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and fibers. So it's going to slow it down a little bit. At the end of the day, is there going to be issue with the utilization? There shouldn't be if your digestive system is doing what it should be doing and breaking down your foods and absorbing properly, which our Ultra 30s are beautiful, pure, clean, and so bioavailable. So how I choose to take it, I choose to take it, on away from proteins, fats, and carbs by itself with burn mode and e-vibe. You can take it by itself. You can take it with e-vibe only. You could take it with burn mode only. Just do whatever floats your boat. Do whatever tastes good. You could put it in a shake and be fine with it. And if you do, then let us know what you see based on results. And it is okay with biomes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. And
Yeah.
is there a time that you need to drink it by after you mix it with your water?
The longer that any nutritional supplement sits in water out and oxidizes just because of regular exposure to oxygen, it does oxidize over time. So, you'd rather just kind of get it into the body and move it into the body within a timely fashion. Like I said, I drink my e-vibe, burn mode, and collagen together, and I sip on it in 2 to 3 hours. I know that I want that 32 ounces down in my body with all of those insane, amazing antioxidants and nutrients in the body before I eat lunch. Between breakfast and lunch. That's my goal. I'm not allowed to eat lunch until I've consumed all of the 32 ounces. So it does help with hydration too. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's just kind of my gauge and my measure.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Well, I think that we have all of, let's see. It says fish skin. So is it wild fish skin sourced from ?
Tilapia. So that's a really good point. So marine collagen is dominant. It is by far better than chicken and by far better than bovine. It's more bioavailable in the body by nature. But how you move that marine product through a process is going to determine its molecular structure and how bioavailable it is. And obviously, we've already discussed how superior ours is. But there are companies out there, they'll harvest any fish and use it for collagen. So you might have multiple species of fish. You might even have some shark in there. You might have, I don't know, a stingray that ends up getting in there. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. For us, we sustainably source tilapia. So the tilapia that moves into market, all those beautiful tilapia fillets that everybody enjoys for dinner making, we actually take and we harvest skin only. There's no heads and no vertebrae. It is skin selective only. And again, it's very, very green, very sustainable how they're doing it. And it is tilapia only. Yeah. Heavy metals. This is great. We test for heavy metals, and the heavy metals are almost non-existent in our Moricool collagen. Plants have much, much, much higher heavy metals than our collagen. And the reason is because of the process in which we take it through, in it being such a fine particle size that heavy metals can't stay suspended in it because we've broken it down. So these metals, lead, cadmium, mercury, and arsenic, those literally get built into the structure of plants and built into the structure of animal tissue. And that's how you end up ingesting it. But with this, because the breakdown of the entire structure of the fish skin is done at such a small molecular level that the heavy metals release out, and we don't take those with us when we actually take those peptides and then concentrate and powderize it. The other thing to be considered about, arsenic is a heavy metal, and no, there's almost non-existent. It's unbelievable. So Prop 65 compliant, beyond Prop 65 compliant. The other thing too is drugs. As you know, our water supply is full of pharmaceuticals, guys. It doesn't matter if it's lakes, streams, or the ocean. You can do sampling of water and it comes from a byproduct from water filtration through the city services. And we have all kinds of pharmaceutical drugs that are being used today that go into the body, and you pee it right out, and it goes down into the toilet and out back and through, groundwater. And if it's groundwater, obviously there's a filtration process that takes place through soil and debris and rock. By the time you get so many feet down, that water has been already filtered. But we're talking oceanic water. And so we've tested for, I believe, over 100 different pharmaceutical drugs, and it's all drug residue free, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Kjersti, will it help with your eyes?
Well, eyes have lots of little ligaments that cause you to turn right, turn left, up, down, and look and focus. And yes, you've got all kinds of little tendons and ligaments that are all in and around your eyes. So obviously collagen helps. There's collagen synthesis and production in and around every part, and even in your brain, there's collagen formation and synthesis within your brain. So these molecule sizes are so doggone small that there should be absolutely no issue passing through the blood-brain barrier.
Perfect. Is there any omega-3s in the fish skin?
No, because that's not what our goal is here. Our goal was peptide only, tripeptides only. Fish oil comes from the different parts of the fish and is extracted and pressed out that way for omegas. And so, yeah, but we've got some fun things planned for omegas. I think you guys are going to go bananas.
Hey, one last question, everybody. How old do you have to be to take collagen 300? Can my kids take some? Is the question.
When you're 12 years old and beyond, you're considered adults. And so therefore, then they move into the daily value based on percentages with proteins. Well, vitamins and minerals, it is slightly different with proteins and fats based on size and demand. But yes, there should be no issue whatsoever with a 12-year-old and beyond to be able to take it.
Perfect. All right.
Especially for those little athletes.
Yes, for sure. Thank you, Kjersti. Jim, I am going to turn it back to you to close us out. And then we have another training for those of you that want to stay on. It starts in like 2 minutes, so we should just stay on if everybody else wants to jump back off. But Kjersti, thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. And Jim, I'm going to have you close this call out with some words of wisdom.
Well, thank you. Amen. What else could I say after this training? This is so beautiful and so important. And I think you answered this one thought. You have all of those 3 vitamins and those other minerals in there for the base building block of our own body to synthesize that big word, make its own collagen at the same time.
Yes.
Building blocks that are often missing already in our diet now are in there in plentiful amounts. So we're adding our own collagen to what we're taking on a daily basis, and now we're getting double, all in our formula, which usually doesn't exist in anybody else's formula of collagen. That was incredibly important for me to see that we can start that at age 25, even to start to reverse that in your own body. But thank you for everything you've shared. I hope that, and I think this has been recorded, what a profound new product to go with the already incredible products, and how well explained, so that I think almost all of us are as excited as you are.
So excited.
By
the way, this 300,
right?
It's the molecular size of our collagen. 300. 300
you-
Dalton. So if
and you
anybody
use
ever
the word
asks,
Daltons,
why
yes.
collagen 300? Yeah, it's the Dalton size. We have a 15% concentrate of the Moricol tripeptides that is 300 Dalton or less.
Wow.
And again, I mean, even the best of the best collagen that people have been raving about over the last year, they have their Dalton size is about 1,000 or above 20,000. So, so tiny. But I just had to tell you, 300 is tiny. Okay.
That's our secret sauce.
Yeah.
The rest of it. Okay, well, thank you so very much. We'll turn it back over to those who are in charge of our next call. And just for those of you who are on tonight, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
We probably need to
everybody. Oh, go ahead.
I'm thinking you need to end the video at this point, the recording, and then start a new one if we're going to move into our second half of training.
Yes,
Bye,
so
everybody.
Everybody unmute your lines and tell Kjersti thank you. I think she just hopped off though. So I guess we don't have to do that.
She